What's up, metal and heavy music fans? I'm here again with Mad Mike, and today we are going to rank metal toxic fan bases.
Moose is in the house.
Absolutely, I'm ready for this one.
I think this year in particular, there have just been quite a few albums out from bands that have some pretty unpleasant people out there. Well, let's dive in. So actually, the first one I have here is Metallica. And it seems appropriate because we just did our Metallica tier list not that long ago. Where would you rate the Metallica fan base on this scale?
Oh my god. So we got mostly harmless, tiresome, buzzkill, pure pain, are you still here, fanatics. Probably somewhere lower.
Yeah.
To differentiate, we gotta talk about the 80s Metallica fans and like the Metallica fans. So like when it comes to like the Metallica fans, they're fine and they meme about the band. It's hilarious. You should see their subreddit at times.
That's true. Like they're one of those fan bases that seems actually willing to kind of like poke fun at their band. But then you do run into the stands out there.
Yeah.
As usual too.
They sold out, all that fun stuff. I'd say it's that tiresome one.
Tiresome, yeah. Now, I'm interested in some of the picks that you threw on here, because I haven't encountered as much of it as maybe you have. So the next one I have is Mayhem. And this falls into that whole true cult black metal crowd, which I'd say on the whole I've dealt with that, but not specifically with any particular band necessarily. So
that's actually like kind of what I was aiming towards too, like that whole like black metal scene. And kind of like Mayhem is almost like a representation of the scene as a whole. For them, I would probably just put like maybe above Metallica, like Buzzkill. One. Yeah, I haven't encountered as much of that, oddly enough. Like I'm almost surprised at how little of it I get. I mean, as long as we're talking about Mayhem, we might as well just throw in Burzum too. Would you say they're at like the same level, or is it different? Oh no. You know who Cover Killer Nation is?
Yes.
I don't know if you ever heard of that channel.
Yeah.
He did one video where 5 reasons people hate Burzum, and you can only imagine the 5 reasons. And Varg actually commented on it and saying you got all these facts wrong. You don't know what you're talking about.
As he does.
Blah, blah. The entire fan base just ganged up on him in those comments and said Varg did nothing wrong. He was framed. It was self-defense. He's not a racist. He just supports white people.
Okay, so we're getting up there then.
It is fanatics, absolutely fanatics.
Fanatics, okay, all the way at the top. Dang.
Yep.
Okay, I'll be sure to steer clear of Burzum.
They've earned it.
Oh my goodness.
They've earned it.
All right, moving away from black metal, we've got Judas Priest. So this is another one I was interested because I'm not too like in deep with the like classic heavy metal stuff. Of course, I enjoy those albums and those bands, but I don't cover it a whole lot. So I guess I just don't encounter the comments of these types of videos.
Yeah,
what's been your impression?
I suggested them just because they're fine. Because like
they go in the mostly harmless category.
Yeah, the mostly harmless because like they're fine and they just want to have a good time, ride motorcycles. Painkiller, Turbo Lover, all that fun stuff. And I have never had an issue with them.
Now, on the flip side of that, I think you might know where I'm going with this.
Boy.
We have Iron Maiden. So timely because, the new album just dropped. Everybody did their videos, except for me. I'm kicking myself, but this will be like my stand-in, I guess. I'll be sure to put Iron Maiden in the title just so I can get a few of those sweet, sweet views. But those Iron Maiden fans, seeing some of the stuff that the Metal Meltdown shared on his video, and also any band that has like a unironic saying, like what's theirs, up the irons or whatever, like that's just immediately, I just roll my eyes so hard. I'm like, oh God, please no.
It was funny because when we talked about this, when we initially discussed this, I put them on there as like a mostly harmless. That was my idea. But now
they've moved up. They've moved up, I would say. I wouldn't put them at the top.
I have a very disappointed dad look on my face right now, and like, what? What have you done?
Yeah,
Come on.
it's unfortunate. I will say, like, compared to some of the other bands on this list that we're gonna get to, the comments themselves, like, the frequency was really high, but the intensity was not like top.
Yeah.
So I'll put it that way. Like, it wasn't as much of the, like, hateful, spiteful name calling. Like, there was definitely some of that, but it wasn't nearly as bad as I've encountered with some of these other groups.
Yeah. So, like, they were mostly harmless. Now I would say high, tiresome, low buzzkill. Like,
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking, after that, seeing some of the ones on the Metal Meltdowns video, I'm thinking buzzkill. That's where I'm putting them. It's a damn shame.
Yeah,
they all came out of the woodwork.
I'm disappointed in you, Maiden fans. Like, I thought better of you, and you proved me wrong. And I don't like being wrong.
Yeah, for sure. Another one I was surprised to see on here, although you weren't the only one I saw necessarily bring this up, but Rammstein. So I haven't run afoul of any particularly...
Neither have I.
Rough. Oh, so okay. So we're mostly harmless. Is this more of like a what's the word I'm looking for? A litmus test kind of thing?
Yeah. It's basically like I tried naming bands that have like very non-toxic fan bases just to sort of even this out and say, congrats, you're not pieces of garbage.
You're not assholes. Okay, I added one that you did not have that I felt like absolutely needed to be on here, though, and that is Slipknot. Oof. So the maggots, as they are apt to call themselves. Again, I am a Slipknot fan, especially first two albums. Absolutely love them, but I have definitely run into those. It's usually the Slipknot fan where I review the new album and dare to say that it was fine. It was decent, not their best. And then, how dare you? 10 out of 10 every time, every album. It's those types of people. And a lot of like cringe too. I you know what? I should have made that one of the categories, honestly. It's just cringe. Where they're not necessarily like as mean or intense or aggressive, but just like super lack of self-awareness and just complete inability, just total blind spot for any sort of criticism of their own band. As far as my experience has been, I would put them higher than Mayhem and Iron Maiden, really. I'm thinking maybe like Pure Pain, like not quite the top two, but they're up there.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Slipknot fan, so I've never really been involved with that fan base, so I haven't seen it firsthand. So I'll let you be the judge on that one, but based on what you've said, I agree.
Yeah, we'll see when the new album comes out, and maybe they'll surprise me, but I anticipate it'll be like in the B range, like most of their later albums are, and I'll get those angry comments, believe me.
And also, I just said I'm not a Slipknot fan, so that's probably an extra 50 dislikes on your video there.
I mean, it goes. We might as well say too, like, by all means, hit the dislike button. Put your angry comment down below, because you'll just be proving us right. So please do it.
Be sure to dislike and unsubscribe and unfollow.
All of that. All of the things. You put Unleash the Archers, which kind of like you were saying with Slipknot, I am like completely clueless as to this fan base, and I've only honestly listened to a little bit of their music. So what are your thoughts on this one?
Mostly harmless once again. And this is kind of like, because I mentioned power metal fans to you as well. We can kind of like extend this to the entire power metal fan base, because they are fully aware of how cheesy power metal is.
Yeah, that's true.
But they just enjoy it, and everyone enjoys it along with them, and Ride the Sky, Unleash the Archers, all that fun stuff, Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun fan base to be a part of.
That's fair too, because I've done a few videos this year where I was trying to branch out and like review an album from a band that's super popular that is just completely outside of my wheelhouse that I've never really listened to. And I did a few power metal ones this year, one of which was Epica. And that was probably like the most positive response I got for one of those, was people coming in then, and Halloween too, people being like, oh, you should check out this album and this album. It was all like very constructive. Nobody got mad when I kind of like didn't like a certain aspect of it. Yeah. They were pretty cool. I'm down with that. Flipping things over again though, I put Slaughter to Prevail. on here. Oh man, this was definitely one of my more disliked videos this year. The fact that I did not like the new Slaughter to Prevail album. And that's from somebody who really wanted to. Like, I loved Baba Yaga. Like, I loved that single. I wanted to enjoy that album. I really didn't. And boy, did like the hate flow through some of those fans. Not the worst though. I will say, like, it was, I don't know, kind of almost like tiresome category, I might put it. Like, they were annoying, but it wasn't like miserable. And it was mostly like ignorable too, which is the case of most of this. But yeah, I would kind of put that down there. Yeah. I'll be interested to see what happens when I do like Whitechapel later in the year, because that's when like the real like elitists come out of the closet. So
boy, I can only imagine.
Black Sabbath. So again, another one I'm interested to hear from you. I haven't encountered too much hate here. I did hear from Quest for Metal that when he did his tier list, and it was a pretty different tier list in terms of what he ranked high and low and all of that, based on what most people would do. And he did say he definitely got some hate thrown his way for that one. So I don't know, thoughts on Black Sabbath?
Yeah. That's mostly a boomer problem now for Black Sabbath.
Yeah, these legacy bands, that is mostly what you get, is the boomers coming out.
Yeah. So like, and there's still a part of that fan base that doesn't like the Dio years, which
really?
Hey, more power to
that.
you.
There's always
opinions
like
are opinions, blah 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 blah. But it's just surprising to see how much hate the Dio years still get. But but again, it's not, they're not, definitely not mostly harmless, because people will be going out there to vehemently and violently defend what is the very first heavy metal band.
Yeah.
So I would say somewhere between tiresome and buzzkill.
Tiresome. All right, Cannibal Corpse.
Mostly harmless.
yeah, I was going to say, so this is an interesting one, and I'll do these next two side by side too, because it's a nice, just like Judas Priest and Iron Maiden were definitely like, they're from the same vein of music, but completely different fan bases. You get that with Cannibal Corpse versus 6 Feet Under. I find Cannibal Corpse fans to be mostly like pretty wholesome. And even when I had criticisms of the new album, I didn't get a ton of like hate thrown my way. Nope. But man, when I shit on that 6 Feet Under album, I still get hate comments for that video, and it's been like over a year now. So the question is, with 6 Feet Under, it's not do they belong on this chart, it's how high.
First of all, I'm glad you can still enjoy Chris Barnes' voice. That
I almost feel like you have to be delusional.
I'm sorry, like
this should be a delusional category.
The weed has just caught up to him so bad.
Just destroyed.
It's brutal.
It. Yeah, and not in the good kind of brutal way either.
No, it's bad. Yeah, it's surprising to see that much toxicity from that fan base when the band has not been relevant in 20 years?
Yeah, it's weird to even see that there are that many defenders.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Yeah, that is pure pain.
Pure pain.
Probably for 6 Feet Under.
Yeah.
Cannibal Corpse, though, it's like, Warcraft fans and, George, probably trying to help George shop at Target and stuff like that. So we're good there.
Nice. Okay. You had Motorhead on here. I'm wondering if that's going to be another litmus test one, or if you have a surprise for me here.
I would say it's somewhere between mostly harmless and tiresome. Somewhere low there.
Okay.
I don't know if we're front-loading that part of the tier list, but...
Yeah, we definitely are. Maybe we put too many litmus test bands on here. Although I just realized there's a band that definitely should have been on here that I forgot to add, but I'll try to remember that at the end, because if I try to add it now, it'll delete everything that I've done so far. Okay, I've got one though, and so this one is like an entire genre, really, and it's one that I have a love-hate relationship with. So it is the Mathcore fans out there. There's no really one band I could tie this to, because when I thought about specific bands, I was like, no, I don't really have beef with anybody who I've been to at a show. And I've seen most of those bands live. But man, especially the online communities, the Mathcore online communities, holy shit. There is some toxic shit going on in there. It is really obnoxious. In fact, I got kicked out of one of the big ones because I basically just didn't toe the line with the it's very political. It gets very political in those groups.
Oof.
And
Oh no.
I wasn't even like really opening my mouth, but because I like wasn't in full alignment, let's just say there's a lot of overlap between Mathcore and Antifa. So it's just
Oof.
not my scene, man. So love-hate relationship. There's a lot of people in the Mathcore scene I absolutely love. There's some of my favorite people to talk to, some of my favorite bands to interview and hang with and see live, and one of my favorite genres of music. But man, there's some rough stuff going on behind the scenes in those online communities that I'm not a big fan of, and just caused me to kind of like stop engaging with most of that for a while now. I would say it moves up to pure pain category. Let's go to Dream Theater, which was one that when I polled the audience was one that came up quite a bit.
Oh. And this is coming from a guy, I love Images and Words. I love Metropolis Part 2. Metropolis Part 2, top 10 favorite album for me of all time. But this fucking fan base. Tabarnak de Colliers. I'm swearing in French right now. That's how annoying they are. They're one of those fan bases. If you do not give the new Dream Theater album an absolute 10 out of 10, you are getting dislike bombed. You're getting death threats thrown to your dad. I don't know.
Wait, maybe I should definitely review this new album then, even though I wasn't planning on it.
Go for it. Go for it.
Just because I almost want to experience it now.
So I'll make a top 11 type of Dream Theater fans.
Oh yeah, dude, do the
video.
follow up
Oh my
for sure.
Yeah.
So how high?
They're right beside Burzum.
Oh wow, okay. Top tier fanatics.
Yep.
And we might as well not bury the lead here. Tool is up next, and there's just no question. Like they have to be
right
at
there.
the top.
Yep.
They have to be at the top.
Like,
I love Tool. I own every album. I even bought the like $50, LED screen one for the new album just because I'm such a super fan. But man, like, if there's one group of people I don't enjoy hanging with, it's a room full of Tool fans.
Yeah. So like, I've talked about them on Reddit, and I've talked about like how I just don't really like them that much. Instant freaking downvoted to hell.
Oh my god.
And there's another funny story. I've told you this, I think, on some of our Discord chats. So back when I was like 12 or 13 years old, I can't remember, but I was in the car with my dad. We were listening to 97.7 Hits FM out in Southern Ontario. Shout out. And Schism came on by Tool. Mm-hmm. Never heard the song before. Didn't know who Tool was at all. Didn't even know who was playing this song. And I turn to my dad and I say, "Is this a new Puddle of Mud song?"
Oh no. Oh no.
So
you just fell for the trap.
That is the day I mistook Tool for butt rock.
Oh no.
And I still call them progressive butt rock to this day. So there's another, I don't know, 3,000 dislikes.
Oh man, I'm going to enjoy seeing the comments to that. I love it. I might have even looked at you in abject horror in that situation. That's great though. But yeah, one of my favorites was when the new album wasn't out yet, but they just released the cover art. We were having a great time memeing on it for looking like a math book cover. And I posted that on Reddit, and like this guy wrote this like page long thing about like, once you dig into the intricacies of like what this is trying to demonstrate, and you can't possibly interpret it till you have the lyrics. And I was, oh my god, it's
like the people who review the Star Wars trailers. And like,
oh man,
Luke's hair is parted a certain way. That means, oh my god, yeah. So, yeah. God,
all right, let's push forwards with Pantera. I have mixed. Like, I find some Pantera people totally cool, totally normal, and then others you do get, the hillbilly kind of intense, Phil Anselmo, does nothing wrong, is beyond reproach types too. So like, I don't hate on Phil. But are there things to criticize Phil for? 100%.
Yeah.
That goes without question. I'd say kind of like mid-tier somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere around Pure Pain and Buzzkill. Like,
I'm gonna go with Buzzkill.
It's usually now. Like it's when I mentioned that, I was thinking about the Phil stands. Not The ones who love Dimebag and love Vinny, rest in peace, like, those are fine, but
Yeah,
the Phil fans, I guess we can throw Down there too. I don't know.
yeah, they're kind of on the level. I've never been a huge Down fan, but that's a whole other topic. So let's go to I guess it's appropriate we could throw in Lamb of God now too, another groove metal band, obviously tied to them. And I have had mixed responses with this crowd too. I know that when I put out my review of the self-titled album, and I gave it like a C+, I want to say. I think it's probably their weakest album. Some people were none too happy about that. They weren't, again, the intensity wasn't like super crazy, but there were definitely a lot of comments of people being like, this is their best album ever. Like, again, falling into that trope of like, every album's 10 out of 10 because this is the best band in the world. Fucking hate that
Pure
shit.
pain.
Pure pain, yeah. Kind of a lot. They're on the level with like Slipknot, I would say. In that vein. Another one that comes up a lot in the polls I see is Opeth.
Oh, tabarnak. That one is I think that's up. I think that's the highest one. Again, I just remember when Heritage came out and there was a lot of people who didn't like it, but they were just vehemently defending it all over the place and throwing hate mail everywhere it goes.
Oh, I missed all that because when they started dropping the non-metal albums, I just sort of checked out, and so I've missed all of the drama, I guess.
Yeah, it's gotten bad. So it's somewhere like I would say Fanatics, but I don't know. We could always compromise and say, "Are you still?"
Yeah,
here?
we have nothing in "Are You Still Here?" Yeah, I don't think they're as bad as Tool or Dream Theater, so. Let's pop them in. Are You Still Here? All right, but one that surprised both of us, I think, and you just did a video on, is Jinjer. So Jinjer absolutely launched straight to Fanatics. I would put them alongside Tool. In fact, I almost want to put them above Tool. Like, I think you were the one who said, like, I never thought there would be a band that could truly compete with Tool in the Toxic Fanbase Olympics, but Jinjer, they stepped up. The fans did, anyways.
Yeah, they've earned it. Like, and the difference between Jinjer fans and Tool fans, the Tool fans don't have Simps that we know of. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe people really love Maynard that much.
Maybe, I don't know.
Not my thing, but oh my god, I went through a couple of music videos to find some simp comments just to put in my video. Oh my god, what a disaster.
It ranges from cringe to just outright gross. Like, it's really, really nasty. And, like, look, I'm not made of stone. Tatiana, beautiful lady, but also very talented. And, like, just to see them reduced to that, because, again, I want to say, I'm a huge fan. I think they're a very talented band. Great musicians just across the board. Solid songwriters overall. It's just that the fans like reduce it to, and if you join one of their groups, and there are many, it's mostly just like thirst posting Tatiana photos. Yeah. And it's really unpleasant. And then on top of that, when I, again, God forbid, I criticize their music in any way, even giving them a B+ on the album, still had so many hate comments, people angry, people like threatening me, people continuously commenting too, where they just keep coming back to reply. And I'm like, hey, have at it. It just, pushes up the algorithm for my video and shares it to more people because you're engaging. So, have at it. Also, my highest dislike ratio of all of my videos to date, I believe. I think it finally slipped under 50%. So I wear that like a badge of honor.
I got quite a few dislikes from that top 6 Jinjer fans.
Yeah, that was a great video too.
It's funny because they just basically proved me right about the whole freaking thing.
All around unpleasant. Yeah. I will give credit where it's due to there were still a good percentage of the people who didn't get angry, commenting really cool things, saying, hey, I'm a fan, but I appreciate that you stepped up and just said what you were thinking, shared your opinion, God forbid. Yeah. So there are cool Jinjer fans out there. Props to them. It's just that unfortunately the more vocal part of your community is not so fun to be around.
Yeah, so we're moving right the fuck on.
Yeah. Let's move on to Slayer.
Yeah,
Back into
this
thrash.
this is another Fanatics one, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So, I went to Heavy TO in 2011, and Slayer was there. There was a lot of big 80s thrash bands there. There was Slayer, Testament, Megadeth, Anthrax, even Motorhead was there. But the last three bands of the night were Slayer, and then right after them was Billy Talent, and then right after them was Rob Zombie closing out the night. And Slayer fans, once Billy Talent came on the stage, booed them to death, threw I don't know how many water bottles.
That's
I even
not
saw
cool,
one
man.
guy throw a half-eaten poutine at them,
Ugh.
which is probably the most Canadian thing you've ever heard. Some people were celebrating, were cheering on Billy Talent, and like some Slayer fans, I've actually saw this happen, were like actually getting violent with them.
Ugh.
And it was just so ridiculous. Like, I don't know how many people got walked
That's
out by
terrible.
security. It was ridiculous. So
That's terrible.
after that experience, witnessing what they're capable of firsthand, they are definitely in that Fanatics tier.
Yeah, that's a tier higher. That's like scum.
Yeah.
That's like just
Yeah.
scumbag territory. I get
Yeah.
mad enough when people go to a show and then they just like ditch out when the band they don't want to see is not playing. Like,
Yeah.
that alone irritates me. So for them to actively like throw shit at them and whatever, that's fucked up. All right, Evanescence.
Oof. We'll have to get Metal Meltdown's opinion on this one.
Yeah, he got a lot of shit, a lot more than I did, because I think I gave the new album like a B minus,
Yeah.
something like that. So I didn't incur as much of the wrath, but yeah, he hated the shit out of that album, and so he ended up getting a lot of heat.
Yeah.
So yeah, I almost need his expertise on this, but it almost seems appropriate, especially since this is a little bit barren. But Are You Still Here? I kind of
Yeah.
want to put him up there just based on what I heard from him, and then also it is like, why are you still here? Like they're not like the most relevant band at this point, I would say. So
They're
not to
almost
hate on
like-
them or anything, but yeah, it's weird to me.
Like, to me, they're another Trapt. Like, they're known for
Oh,
that
well-
one song, and that's it. And like,
Oh man,
know?
you got some more hate comments coming your way for that comment. Oh,
Bring it
man.
on.
Devin Townsend. So
mostly harmless.
yeah, you threw them in here as another kind of litmus test. I was surprised when I like Googled, worst metal fan bases and found a Reddit thread, and a few people did throw in Devin Townsend. So
Really?
I could kind of see it because you'd also get those same kind of like pseudo intellectual types who
Oh, yeah.
like Dream Theater and Tool and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I haven't really
Yeah.
encountered like. They seem more playful because Devin
Yeah.
himself is like, he doesn't take himself seriously at all,
No.
despite being so talented. So I'm still going to put him low.
Yeah.
Baby Metal.
Are they still here?
Are they still here? Yeah. I haven't really run into their fans so much. So I don't know what your experience has been.
I'm trying to be nice here, because I've let out all my anger on the Jinjer fans, more than enough. But I feel like it's a lot of tweens for Baby Metal. So it's and it's that like that really
And weebs.
annoying teen thing
Teens and
going
weebs.
on. Yeah, and oh my god. When you combine that with like a kind of anime fan base.
Yeah, I mean,
it's-
I would guess, and again, I don't know, but I am kind of like, I'm pretty well aware of the Poppy fandom, and I feel like there's a lot of similarities
yeah,
in terms of those two groups.
absolutely.
And they've mostly been cool with me, but that's because I'm fond of Poppy, and I think that her music is interesting. But I am curious if I were to do a straight up like, this album sucks video, what kind of response I would get, because they seem like they stand pretty hard.
So yeah, are they still here?
Are they,
Filling-
you're gonna
we're
put them up
filling
high,
that
then.
one up.
just to put them there. I don't know if I'd put them that high, but what I would actually throw in that category is the last one I have in here, and that is Trapt.
Oh,
Who this one was funny to me because like even everyone I've heard say like everyone talks shit about them and nobody defends them. Like nobody runs to their rescue. So it's almost like if you are a legit unironic Trapt fan, like you're almost too scared to even speak up at this point. And so maybe that is like, are you still here?
I just threw Trapt there because I feel like every tier list, the absolute bottom one
But
needs
the bottom
to be
should
Trapt.
Yeah. But they're not
so,
mostly
like,
harmless, I don't think. Their music isn't. Their music causes
Yeah.
me pain. What I forgot to include on here, though, that I absolutely should have, is Five Finger Death Punch.
Oh, yeah.
Which
Yikes.
absolutely would have made near top tier. I don't think I'd put him quite up there with Jinjer and Tool and all them, but this was another one the Metal Meltdown would attest to. Like, he got like death threats for his like commentary video on the music video, and I'm like, that's not fucking cool, man. So maybe they should be top tier for that one, because that's bad. That's just bad.
Five Finger Death Punch. Oh my god, I know. Yeah, he had to shut his comments down on that review. Which
I think eventually he just removed the video or unlisted it or something. Like, it was that bad.
I think it's still up there, but he just shut down the comments.
Shut the comments, yeah.
Just because, and when you consider like some of the comments he gets, it must have been really bad. Like being like, "You talking shit about my band, it's gonna pit you," all that shit.
Yeah, I'll fuck you up.
Like, one of those. And let me drink my Monster.
Yeah,
it's like the music fan representation of Kyle's.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Well, now it is your turn. Down in the comments, let us know, how would you rank these, and were there any bands that we left out that should be on this list? And then be sure to stick around, check out my other tier lists, other videos, check out Mad Mike's list of the top 6 types of Jinjer fans out there. And yeah, that'll do it for now. We will see you in the trenches.